What if a simple 1946 Jefferson nickel could be connected to values approaching $32,000 under the right circumstances? That's not a fantasy. It's the kind of discovery that keeps collectors searching through old jars, inherited collections, and forgotten coin albums every single day. Most people see 5 cents. A skilled treasure hunter sees possibility. And today we're following the trail of one of the most fascinating nickels from post-war America. Picture America in 1946. The world had just emerged from World War II. Soldiers were returning home. Factories that once produced wartime equipment were shifting back to consumer goods. The nation was changing almost overnight. The U.S. Mint was changing too. During the war years, special silver alloy nickels had been produced to conserve strategic metals. But by 1946, the mint returned to the traditional nickel composition that Americans had known before the conflict. That makes the 1946 Jefferson Nickel something special. It wasn't just another coin. It marked a return to normal life. Millions entered circulation immediately. Most were spent, worn down, and forgotten. But hidden among them were unusual survivors, coins carrying minting mistakes and rare characteristics that would later become collector treasures. And that's where our hunt begins. Every 1946 Jefferson nickel started its journey as a blank metal disc called a planchet. Those blanks traveled into massive coin presses, operating at incredible speed. One strike. That's all it took. Jefferson appeared on the front. Monticello appeared on the reverse. But machines aren't perfect. A die could crack. A planchet could shift. Foreign material could enter the striking chamber. When that happened, ordinary nickels became future collectibles. Most errors were destroyed. A few escaped. Those survivors are the treasures collectors chase today. Our first stop takes us to one of the most overlooked discoveries. Die cracks develop when the hardened steel dies begin breaking down after repeated use. Instead of producing a flawless image, the damaged die leaves raised lines across the coin. Some cracks are tiny, others stretch dramatically through Jefferson's portrait or across the reverse design. Many collectors enjoy these pieces because they show the actual deterioration of mint equipment. Smaller die crack examples often sell between $20 and $100. More dramatic cracks can bring $150 to $600. Major examples showing advanced die failure occasionally exceed those ranges when demand is strong. Not a bad reward for spotting what many people would ignore, but bigger discoveries lie ahead. Imagine a blank planchet entering the press slightly out of position. The dies strike anyway. Part of the design misses the coin entirely. The result is an off-center strike. These errors are impossible to miss. Collectors love them because the mistake is visible instantly. A modest off-center strike might bring $75 to $250. Examples showing 10% to 20% displacement often reach $300 to $900. More dramatic examples retaining a visible date can exceed $500. The visual impact alone makes them highly collectible. Yet another error often generates even greater excitement. This is where experienced treasure hunters slow down and inspect carefully. A double die isn't created during striking. It originates during die production. The doubling appears on letters, numbers, or design elements. To the untrained eye, it can be easy to miss. To collectors, it's a potential jackpot. Minor doubled die examples may sell for $100 to $400. Stronger examples often bring $500 to $3,000. Rare, premium specimens in outstanding condition can climb significantly higher. The challenge is identifying genuine doubling rather than common machine doubling. That's why knowledgeable collectors spend hours examining coins under magnification. Sometimes the smallest detail unlocks the biggest reward. Now the hunt becomes even more interesting. Sometimes debris enters the striking chamber. Grease, metal shavings, tiny fragments of foreign material. When the coin is struck, part of the design becomes interrupted. This creates a struck-through error. Each example is unique because the obstruction is never exactly the same. Small struck-through grease errors often sell for $25 to $150. More dramatic examples commonly bring $200 to $700, especially unusual struck-through. Pieces can command even stronger premiums due to their one-of-a-kind appearance. Collectors aren't just buying a coin. They're buying evidence of a brief accident that occurred nearly 80 years ago. Before a coin could be struck, blanks had to be punched from large sheets of metal. Sometimes the punching process overlapped. Part of the blank was missing before striking ever began. The finished coin emerged with a curved section absent from its edge. These are clipped plancher errors. Small clips typically sell between $75 and $250. Larger clips often reach $300 to $800. Strong examples with dramatic visual appeal may exceed $1,000. Their popularity comes from simplicity. Anyone can immediately recognize that something unusual happened, and collectors appreciate errors that tell a clear story. Here's an error many casual collectors overlook. Occasionally, impurities inside the metal caused portions of the coin's surface to peel or separate. These are called lamination errors. The coin may appear cracked, flaking, or layered. Minor examples often trade for $50 to $200. More dramatic laminations can reach $250 to $800. Large, eye-catching examples are especially desirable because they reveal problems hidden within the metal itself. They're reminders that even the raw materials used by the mint weren't always perfect. Now comes the most important clue in the entire treasure hunt: condition. Collectors often focus on the error and forget about preservation. That's a mistake. A worn error coin may sell for a modest amount. The same error in pristine condition can multiply in value several times over. Professional grading services. Evaluate. Surface preservation. Strike quality. Luster marks and abrasions. Overall eye appeal. A coin graded mint state may command dramatically more than a circulated example. Move into higher grades such as MS65, MS66, or beyond, and values can rise rapidly. This is where truly exceptional 1946 Jefferson Nickels separate themselves from the crowd. And now we return to that astonishing figure from the opening, the highest value. 1946. Jefferson Nickels aren't usually sitting in pocket change. They're elite survivors, coins preserved for decades with remarkable care. Coins representing the finest examples known to collectors. When rarity, exceptional grading, and collector demand align, values can approach the kind of numbers that seem impossible for a 5-cent coin. That's where stories of nickels reaching extraordinary levels begin, and those stories keep treasure hunters searching. Tonight, somewhere in a drawer, a box, a collection, or an old family album, a 1946 Jefferson nickel is waiting. Maybe it's an overlooked error. Maybe it's an unusually high-grade survivor. Maybe nobody has examined it closely in decades. The hunt isn't over. In fact, it never ends. Because the most exciting part of coin collecting isn't the treasures we've already found.